Hello, everyone. Welcome to the #1 Divine Intervention virtual event, the D.I.V.E Social-Summit for short. If you are new to D.I.V.E Live Online, my name is Iona Meade. I am your big vision and mission purposepreneur and founder of the Soul Speakers Academy, and I'm also the host for this interview series. So I've brought together 49 guest experts who I like to call soul speakers from all over the world, sharing with you soul-inspired, intuitive business, lifestyle, and marketing strategies for purpose-driven business owners. So throughout the 49 days of the Social Summit, I'll bring each of my guest experts into the Soul Speaker Spotlight for you, where they'll share with you not only their free gift for the day, but also their soul-inspired strategy. And you'll be able to grab the link for today's freebie around this interview. So hopefully this interview and today will be coming to you in divine timing, with divine energy, and in divine flow. So we know that the universe brings us what we need, but sometimes it's not always much fun to do it alone. So that's why you'll have the opportunity to connect with me, my guests, and like-minded attendees for the D.I.V.E Social-Summit in the Soul Speakers Tribe Facebook group. So if you haven't already got my freebie for the D.I.V.E Social-Summit, go over there and get it. It's called Speak Your Soul's Message 101. So we have about 20 minutes together today, and I'm going to bring my very special guest on today for you. So please welcome Pisolkar. I think I said it right. I said it really slowly. Hi, Kim.
Hi, Iona.
You can say your name correctly if you like, and then I'll give you an introduction.
You did it really great. It's Kim Pisolkar.
Pisolkar. Aha. Right. Great. Thank you. So Kim is the CEO of the Small Business Breakthrough. She's passionate about helping business owners to take control of their time, energy, and to-do lists so they can have more fun, flexibility, and financial success. Kim is a former corporate executive, is a credentialed coach, speaker, and regular contributor to the Huffington Post. She was a contributing author in the #1 Amazon bestselling book, Women Living Consciously, where she shares how surviving her perfect storm of job loss, cancer, infertility struggles, and ADD diagnosis which was the impetus for her stopping playing small and starting to play into what was really possible. So guys, if you have any questions for Kim, and I won't try and say her surname again, butchering it, do ask them below. We would like to continue on this conversation. You're going to love today's interview. It's jam-packed. I've really been looking forward to it. Kim, before we go into your free gift for the day and your soul-inspired strategy, can you share with our audience a little bit about how your journey has unfolded? I know that we heard a little bit in the bio, but how you've really come to do what you're doing today.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. You know, I was in corporate America for many years and left thinking I'm going to have a baby, and that didn't happen. And I had ended up getting cancer and got through that, then had fertility treatments, had my daughter, and then surprise, you have ADD. I'm like, yay. You know, how could I have so many things happening? And during this time, you know, I had left corporate America. I was doing a sales business where I was working with small business owners. I had also started a recruiting company. And what I found is, you know, for the candidates for the recruiting company, I was coaching them, right, on their interviews and stuff, all the stuff you don't get paid for, right? You only get paid for placing people. And for my business owners, I found I was also coaching them about how to attract customers, how to retain them, how to attract and keep really good employees, which also I wasn't paid for because I was paid for the thing I was selling. And so that led me to realize, you know, that the people have been telling me for 4 years, you should be a coach. I finally decided that's what I would do. And I became a coach and decided to work with small business owners. And I got to tell you, even though I was very successful in my corporate life, I really struggled when I started my own business. And even though I could sell pants, I could sell crazy stuff, I could not sell me to save my life. And, you know, my husband kept saying, I think you need to go back to corporate. And he would send me, you know, job openings. Look, they're hiring. And I was like, wow, maybe I really should, because I don't know if I'm going to make any money. And you know, what I started thinking about, you know, maybe I do need to go back. And then I realized, you know what, I don't need to go back. I just need to do what I did. And I think sometimes we start our own businesses and we kind of forget all the good stuff we already had before. And so I started taking the principles and the tools and things I had done in corporate to help run business units and apply them in my business. And I started getting better results, right? I actually started making money. I actually started having more fun. And I'm like, so then I started using them with my clients, and they started making more money, having flexibility, having more fun. And so I realized, through that's where I created my big breakthrough system, which is the fastest path to help people grow their businesses and create revenue.
Wow.
So that's kind of, and, I have this soft spot for small businesses because I think a lot of us, we're lonely, it's just us. And I love helping small business owners really create that business that has the fun, flexibility, and financial success they had envisioned on opening day.
I love that. Thank you so much, Kim. And how many people resonate with that, guys? If you resonate with that, if you are on your journey and you're thinking, am I going to have that breakthrough? Am I going to make this work? Or, do you have people around you saying, I think you need to go and get what I call a soul-sucking day job?
Right.
I've been there and I've stopped my business and I've gone to go get that soul-sucking day job, and it just doesn't feel great. And I love that you say that you forget the things that you're really good at. And I heard you say that, I coached these people around this and around that, and they were having great success, and that was all free. And then it's like, okay, I'm opening my doors asking to be paid, and like, I don't know what to do, and I don't know how to make this work. I think that is so true for so many of us, especially as small business owners and purpose-driven business owners. We know that we can do it when it's not our own business, say if we're doing it for somebody else. But when we put that shingle on the door and say, this is me, this is my business, where do I take it from here?
Yeah.
And I think that a lot of people will resonate with your story of having, somebody say, do you think you can do this? And not knowing whether you can do it, and having that support and that like-minded those like-minded people to go to, I think is really important. So when you said that you finally thought, okay, I'm going to put in the systems in place that I've already helped people with, did you get any support around that?
I did, in the sense, very early on, I hired a business coach before I was actually making any money, because I was kind of like, I cannot do this alone. I hired a coach early on. I also identified things that I was not good at and were on my to-do list forever, and hired some support staff, just believing that the money was going to come. Right. And at the time I was charging $4.95 a month for coaching.
Right.
And so, getting that support though was really helpful. Yeah. Because then I had somebody help, hold my hand, help me create that roadmap. And then also I wasn't bogged down with all the stuff that I really hate, because I was getting someone to help me with that.
Yeah, that's perfect. That sounds so amazing. So what do you think was the biggest thing that did hold you back? And then we'll share your freebie. You touched on, it was the skills. Do I know what I'm doing? What was the real thing that you're like, this is what it was, and you had that awareness of it?
I think the biggest thing that was holding me back was confidence. And that feels like such a, nebulous thing. I knew I was successful in corporate. I knew I was successful in sales. And this, coaching just felt so like intangible, right? I was like, and I made it be like, I'm selling me, right? That's how I framed it. I'm selling me.
Yeah.
And then, I'm like, but, I have all these problems, right? I have ADD, I can't have a baby, all this kind of stuff was playing into it, making me feel very much like I was less than.
Wow.
And I didn't really have anything to offer.
Wow. And then once you have that realization, it's like, actually, I have tons to offer, and I've been doing all this stuff, and I've been having successes, and actually if I implement this, then I can support people around it. And a lot of our guests that are coming into the Soul Speakers Summit are saying that they had that breakthrough, they've had that journey. So guys, do let us know, do continue on the conversation. Let us know if you are experiencing that, if you're just starting out, and even if you've been in business for years, because sometimes without that support, without that coach, without that mentor, without that program, it's years down the road and you're thinking, am I going to be able to figure this out? And I know that was true
Right.
for me.
Yeah.
It was crazy. And that self-doubt, when those seeds, you know, get a hold and take root, it can be really difficult a lot when you're on your own to actually start to move yourself forward. And that's one of the reasons why Kim is sharing her freebie today. So I think you're going to love it. Again, I'll leave the link around this interview. So I'll introduce that, Kim. So Kim freebie, which I love. And I don't know if you created it just for us or whether you had this, but I loved it as soon as I heard the title. So Kim talks about the journey to net worth begins with your self-worth. I need it said again. The journey to net worth begins with your self-worth. And she shares 3 ways to effortlessly increase clarity, confidence, and cash flow. Do share more, Kim. What will they get if they go and sign up for that?
So one of my Kimisms, I'll call it, is that your bank balance will never exceed your self-image. And so I created this guide. I took different things and exercises that I actually do with my private clients. So this guide will help you identify a couple different things, right? You know, one thing I talked about is we kind of forget all the things that we came with when we started our business. And there's certain things we have intrinsic value that we tend to forget. And if nobody really recognizes on it because it's internal. So there's exercises that really help you get clear on the value you just bring as a person, regardless if anybody buys from you or not. So that's one thing. And the other is to get really clear on the value you provide clients. And moving away from, I do 10 sessions, I give you 4 oils, whatever it is, but really focus on helping you identify what it is that you help people get, both tangible and intangible, so that you can be confident in what you offer and confident in what you're pricing. And then some exercise around there, because really, you know, what I see, and I see this across the board, I see it with coaches, I see it with consultants, and I see it with financial advisors, massage therapists, is the whole thing around charging what you think people will pay versus charging what things are worth. So these exercises are all geared to help you get really clear on the value you provide so that you can be confident when you're talking about it and be confident asking for the money that you want, not the money you think people will give you.
Oh, perfect. I love that. And I know that in the report, Kim, you talk about knowing your self-worth and do you know your self-worth? And you mentioned quite a few signs, and we might be able to touch on a couple of those. You popped out for me. So guys, if you are struggling with this and you have had that experience, which I think 9 times out of 10, you know, it resonates. So if somebody is struggling with that, yes, they might know, but what are some of the really common signs that somebody's actually undervaluing themselves?
So the things I would hear, like as a coach, when I hear from people is, how much should I charge? So if you're like focused on looking at what's the market rate or finding out what your colleagues are charging, you know, that's one of the signs that you're trying to focus on what you think people are going to pay. Another sign of I mean, I see it every day when people tell me how much they charge, and I'm like, oh, well, we can give you a raise. Everyone who works with me gets a raise because I'm like, that's too low. Yeah. And if you are constantly getting yes, right? If everyone says yes to you, like really quickly, chances are you're charging less than you should be, because you should be getting some no in there, right? Because people should be pushing back a little bit. Yeah. Other things that you're undercharging.
You talk about giving your time away, and guys, the no might feel a little bit uncomfortable, but Kim's saying that's a good thing. So you talk about that. Oh, hang on, let me see. I just got some. It's like you're giving your time away for free, frequently settling for less than you deserve, and you're afraid to speak up authentically. That really popped out for me. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the reasons we don't get what we want is because we don't ask for it.
Yeah.
And, you know, or we try to ask for things in a way that we think we're supposed to. We're going to, you know, because we've been trained in a different way and stuff. So we try to do sales in a way that's not authentic. to us. And I think that that seeps out energetically when you are, you know, trying to follow a script or, you know, trying to model somebody else that doesn't feel in your bones good to you. It's not going to come out authentically. And so when you do the ask, you're going to have these like little energetic missteps. That's going to result in people being like, no.
I was on mute, so I love that. I was laughing out loud. So you also talk about, for me, and that's what I say about that soul-sucking day job, or you get clients, they kind of drain you. Is that connected to your self-worth? Like if you're staying in a job that you don't necessarily want to do, or you're working part-time and you're trying to get your business up and running, and when you do, then the clients are not necessarily your ideal clients. Is that kind of tied into that?
Oh, definitely. Because sometimes we don't think we're worthy of the people we really want to work with. So we take whatever we get. It's kind of just taking like whatever price we get. We'll take whoever because it's money. And then not only do we, you know, then we end up kind of resentful too, right? And you know, when you look at your calendar, if you're not fired up about like, oh my God, I'm so excited for my clients today, then you're working with people who aren't ideal. You can't give them your best. They're not going to get the best, you know, they're not going to be able to receive it because they're not the ideal clients. And you're kind of taking away space from the universe to provide you the ideal clients.
Oh my gosh, how like, did you actually catch that? I love, you know, when you hear something and you might have heard it in a certain kind of way, but yeah, it's true, isn't it? You know, I like to say, if you have a negative experience or a negative something going on, not clearing it, you're not really allowing for that positive thing to come into your life. You're not allowing that space. If you say nature builds that vacuum, so clearing out that way where it feels uncomfortable or not. I know in your guide and your report, you talk about the next steps, like journaling, and then you give our guys next steps. Can we share with that before we share your soul inspired strategy?
Yes. So some of the next steps are around, let me just make sure I'm telling you the right ones. And
are you talking about journaling and then embracing your unique talents and the experiences and gifts? And surrounding yourself with positive people, I think.
Exactly. Yeah. But you know, it is. It's around, you know, doing some internal work. You know, a lot of business stuff we think about as external, but it's really thinking about getting clear on why you're not asking for what you want, or you're taking the crumbs instead of the cake, you know, to begin with, and thinking about, you know, who do you surround yourself? You know, there's that saying out there. If you want to know what your income will be, look at the 5 closest people to you. But really surrounding yourself with people who are your cheerleaders, who are like-minded, you know, and then looking at what you speak. I'm really big on speaking what you want.
Oh, wow.
And putting it out there, and, you know, saying affirmations like, you know, I easily and effortlessly earn, you know, $150,000 a year, whatever it is for you, but really putting it out into the universe that that's what you want and that you're worth it.
Oh, that is perfect. I love that. And that you talk about, you know, your ideal clients and deciding actually what is it that I want to be gifting in the world, and receiving openly for what your gifts are, what you do best, what you're really good at. And I love that you talk on, you know, just delegating the stuff that doesn't resonate. So you then, when people do come in, the other stuff that bogs you down, normally you actually do work with the clients that you really enjoy working with and do light you up. And I love that. And people were saying to me, I know you have such high energy, because I say no to quite a few things. And I say yes to things and those no things show up way less in my life. I don't notice them. They're not in my radar. And even bringing people into the as joint vision partners into the social summit, you know, not everybody came in the door because there was that barrier. It's like, well, it's probably not a good fit for you. It's not good for everything that you do in your business to help grow your business, to help attract clients. Even doing this, bringing people in that are like-minded because they're on that vibrational frequency, right? Love it. So Kim, let's share your soul inspired strategy for the day before we wrap up. And guys, if you are new to D.I.V.E Live Online, the soul inspired strategy is just around, because all of my guests are bringing in tools, steps and strategies, practical, right? But the soul inspired strategy is about how you move and feel your way through your day and your life and your marketing and your business, and kind of interweaving that so you feel really good and you're ready to get out of the gate. So Kim, do share your soul inspired strategy for the day.
Yeah. So you heard me talk about, your bank balance will never exceed your self-image. And I heard this analogy years ago, and I just wanted to share it because I think it's such a great visual. And if you think about your self-esteem, your self-worth, like a thermostat, right? You know how in a thermostat you set like a top, degree.
Yeah.
And, it's a lot of times it will go below and you'll pull it back up, but it will never go above that. And it's kind of like we set that degree, that highest temperature, let's call it, on what we feel we're worth, what we feel we can get. And so we're limiting ourselves because we're never going to go above that temperature. So the exercises in the guide are really designed to help people raise that temperature so they can go to a higher bar than they think they could. And really being comfortable with what they offer instead of comparing, right? Because we fall a lot into the illusion of comparison.
Oh yeah.
And so really getting clear. And when I think about something that really helped me up level my business, and I'm actually up leveling again, so I'm going through the whole process.
So what was the first up level for you, Kim?
The first up level for me was when I created 6 figures for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
With a concussion. So that was my first up level. And now I'm up leveling again. I have bigger companies approaching me to work with them. And so I'm rethinking about it. Mm-hmm. But I think one of the key things is, and this works whether you're a coach, you're a consultant, you're a financial advisor, you're an attorney, it really, a massage therapist, it works everywhere. It's getting really clear on the results that you help people get, their outcomes. Making them, even if it's confidence and clarity, but how you make those touchable for people, and packaging it in a way that people can understand when you're talking with them, what kind of journey you're going to take them on, how long it's going to take, what they're going to get from it, so that you can package things in a way that the pricing becomes a no-brainer and people can really see the value. And that's a big difference than what we typically see, which is it's this much time for this much money. Right. I started that way too. We mostly fall into that trap and people immediately start doing the math in their head. But when you can take, like Iona, this is the journey we're going to go on when we work together. And here's what's going to happen at 3 months. And here's what's going to happen at, along the way. It's easier for people to understand the value, and price doesn't become that much of an issue. And then, when you understand that journey and the results, it's easier for us to, 1, be more confident when we're talking to prospective clients, and 2, be more confident in charging the prices that we really want, not what we think someone's going to pay us.
Oh, that's perfect. I love it. I love the way that you tie everything in, and it does come back to that self-worth. And guys, let us know if you are actually charging what you're worth, or what you believe and what you want, and what that pricing scale is for you, and are you actually still trading those time for dollars. And it takes a while to get your head around, not even necessarily to put the steps in place, because you can get somebody else to help, but you do need to know what it is that you're doing and how you're being in service and what it is that people want. But to get your head around it and actually say, I don't have to do it this way anymore because it's not serving me, it's stressing me out, it's bogging me down, and I'm ready to have that breakthrough, right? I love it. Thank you so much, Kim, for bringing your gifts to the summit. I really do appreciate that. So I'm going to wrap up today's interview, and then I'll ask you if you have anything to add at the end, Kim. That'd be great.
Okay.
So guys, if you are here on Kim's featured day, then do come over to the Soul Speakers Tribe Facebook group. Ask any questions. Let us know how you find this interview. Let us know what aha moments and insights and shifts and breakthroughs that you feel like you're on the verge on, or something's just dropped for you and you're like, yeah, this is it. And do share. If you know anyone that would love this interview and the summit, do share, because it's really, really powerful. That's how the economy goes, right? That money flows. We don't want to keep it static, and we want people to feel worthy of getting their message out there and being in service and transforming the world, right? Because you believe that you can provide that transformation. We believe in transformation. And I say, you know, each of my 49 soul speakers, Kim included, myself included, that we believe in transformation. And so we don't want you to pay for the interview replays or lock you off with the freebies. You can have those lifetime access, really make use of them. But if you are somebody that wants to provide that transformation in the world, that transformation begins one person at a time, and it begins with you, right? It begins with you. So we invite you to do that for yourself. So if you come into the Social Summit, you come in and you get my bonus training. It's called Speak Your Soul's Message 101. I am actually opening up enrollment into my Soul Speakers Academy, where I share with you how you can get your message out there on hangouts, virtual events, summits, radio, events like this one. And Kim has been so generous, along with each of my guests, and contributing to what I call my Uber giveaways. So if you love what Kim is sharing, bet you there's more, right? There is more. And we'd love for you to take this opportunity. It's like no other, really. And if that self-worth is affecting you in your business, it might be affecting you in your life and your marketing and being visible, being seen and being heard. You know, it's time to actually step up and be you and let us know who you are, what you do in the world, and what it is that you really want to have that breakthrough on. So Kim, is there anything that you'd like to add before we wrap up with these guys?
Two things. One, if your bank balance isn't where you want it to be, then there's probably some things going on with how you're valuing yourself and what you offer. And then the final thing I want to leave is, I heard this from a coach a long time ago. You know, you already have everything you need to be great. And so my invitation for you, everyone listening, is just keep stepping into your greatness. People out there need you. They want you. So it's time to be out and charge what you want and make the income and impact you deserve.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Kim. I really appreciate that. So guys, let me put me on screen there. So that's it for today. Hopefully you've enjoyed this interview and you will come and continue on the conversation. Again, grab the Kim's freebie. The link will be around this video for you. So that's it for today. This is Iona Meade saying that I will bring another soul speaker into the summit for you, sharing more soul-inspired, intuitive business, lifestyle, and marketing strategies. I'll see you over at www.D.I.V.E Live online. Take care, guys.